name is Katrina, and I would love to be your new SJCR Services and Estates Manager. I am a second year studying here, and I study combined honors in social sciences, focused on the human sciences pathway. At university, I have undergone Nightline training, dabbled in various societies, and as of this year, I am a student representative for combined honors in social sciences students who study archaeology. Three qualities that I believe are vital for this role are compromise, cooperation, and communication. I suppose you could call them the 3 C's. I have learned to appreciate these traits through life and work experience, both individually and with groups. I work very well if situations are thrown at me, and thus can work very well individually if needed. An example of this is during the summers. I help out an artist where I'm entrusted with the creation of various artworks such as jewelry and metalwork. But I also greatly value teamwork situations and believe that it is people working together using the 3 C's as I mentioned above that creates a powerful college democracy. Some examples of working simultaneously with other people include volunteer work in a private hospital back in the US where I had to work with volunteers and professional staff and patients, as well as being a part of a venture crew for 4 years where we tackled many situations together such as leadership training and hiking the Grand Canyon. My main goals are all within the context of completing my responsibilities within a timely manner, whilst remaining open-minded and proactive. Last year, when I lived in 28 North Bailey, there was no washer in the building, which made my laundry pile up immensely. And with the room the size of a sardine can, this was not so pleasant. The closest washer was in Prentice's basement, where I would have to lug a month's worth of washing. So when the washers and dryers decided to break down, which they tended to do every 2 weeks, you can imagine how I felt. This is why I understand the importance of speedy fixes on the washers and dryers. This understanding is one which I would share with all of my duties, such as having stash available for order and distributed at the earliest possible. Carl was talking to me about the idea of having an arcade machine in the Bailey room. I will pursue this idea and put through a motion on it if I am elected to the role. The recent addition of the estates title to the Services and Estates Manager role, as of last year, means that there is an increased amount of responsibility to be taken into account for this position, one of which I am extremely willing to accept. This means I will work hard to be inclusive of all common rooms in college, and also want to make it extremely easy to provide outreach to all of John's community. I believe that the recently established weekly meetings that I would have with the House Committee will greatly help in achieving this goal. Thank you for your time. I look forward to the opportunity of working with you all.
I'm Aisha. I'm currently just about managing to get through my 2nd year as a chemist, and I would love to be a Services and Estates Manager for the next year. I'd like to say that I'm pretty involved in college life, though being stuck on crutches for the majority of this term has meant that I've not been able to make quite as much use of the bar as I would have liked. So why do I think that I will make a good Services and Estates Manager? First and foremost, I am living in next year, so I'll have a personal investment into whether everything in college is working as it should be, and especially for laundry, it's up and running. In terms of experience, I'm president of the Durham University Chemistry Society, having reinstated that from scratch at the end of last summer. This involves running an exec of 7 members and organising academic and social events. I'm also a Durham student ambassador, which means that after everyone else left for the summer last year, I stayed behind and spent 10 hours touring people around college. And along the way, I picked up loads of random facts about the buildings, something which I'm sure could be helpful in the role of Services and Estates Manager. I'm joint head cops for SJCBC, and that basically involves shouting at people and working together with the captains to make sure the coxers know where they're supposed to be and what time in the morning they're supposed to be there. I was on John's cheerleading last year, and before I managed to break my knee, I've been part of DU Cheer this year. Cheerleading is really heavily dependent on being able to work well with, communicate with, and trusting your teammates. Again, something which I think I can apply to a role on the SJCI Exec. So as you can see, I'm quite sporty, so I change my clothes a lot, which means I'll definitely notice if there's something up with the laundry. That being said, I'll also notice if the vending machine is running low on chocolate and get that solved ASAP, as last year I'm pretty sure I managed to contribute to most of its revenue during exam season. So my primary aim as Service and Estates Manager was to bring back John's Toasty Bar. Currently 60% of the Baylor colleges already boast the means of providing what I consider to be one of the most essential student foodstuffs. And I'm sure you agree that having to concede and admit that John's is in fact inferior in this aspect to those of Chas, Castle and Hatfield is not a good feeling. So vote me in for Services and Estates, and I'll work hard with college to organise the relevant health and safety training needed to bring back Toasties to Linton Bar. I want to follow in the services that Carl has provided this year in terms of efficient stash ordering and delivery. It'd be great if John's could be the first college to receive new stash at the beginning of next term, of each term, and I aim to maintain the good rapport that college has with Phoenix Print. I would also provide a way for you to give your suggestions on any changes that could be made to the selection of items on offer. For example, I don't know if you've seen, but Chad's have onesies that I can't decide if I'm disgusted by or really jealous of, but I would totally be willing to endorse them should the John student body deem them acceptable. So stash wouldn't be the only thing you can give me your feedback on. I want to introduce a system for livers in to easily suggest to me anything you think could be changed around college. I'll do this by leaving a suggestion box in the Bailey room where you can easily drop hints on what you think could improve college life, which I check every week and follow up on using polls on Facebook. Finally, I want to improve the system by which freshers are able to buy second-hand gowns at the beginning of the year. Instead of being on a first-come, first-served basis, I would like a checkbox to be included with information packs that just said, I would like a second-hand gown. It should be made clear that preference is given to those whose students would prefer the second-hand option for financial reasons. This way, second-hand gowns can be set aside for the students who need them, and the worry of whether there will be any left can be taken out on the stresses of Freshers' Sunday. I'm sure you'll agree that John's really is like home. I can't wait to move back in next year and I'll enjoy all the luxuries and potatoes that come with it. And I hope I've managed to convince you in the last few minutes that I can have being a member of what's going to be a great exec to look forward to as well.
Right then, any questions for the candidates? Well, this is going to speed up the meeting, aren't we? Tom?
So last year the role was just Services Manager, recently it's been changed to Services and Estates Manager. How do you think that change will make the way you handle the role this year slightly different from how Carl's role was last year?
Katrina goes first.
Well, from what I understand, Carl he banned the role right as the state's title was implemented. So I think from looking at what he's done, the state's title means that we have to be more inclusive of all the buildings on John's as well as the common rooms more.
So the way that I understood the estates manager to work is that we used to have a committee where there'd be a representative from each house in college that then came and said, we think that this needs changing. And I think that I've addressed that in my manifesto, my aims for next year. Just by having a suggestion box in the Bailey, that means like anyone could come and really easily say anything that we wanted improving around college. To work a bit like the blue slips for maintenance, but less like, oh my god, the shower's not working anymore. Oh, could we get some bean bags for the Bailey room?
Are there any more questions for the candidates? Carl?
Given that at different times of the year this role has varying levels of stress, how would you deal with, say, if the most stressful part of the job happened to coincide with several of your deadlines?
Well, as a chemist, I have imminent deadlines every week, and there isn't really a period where there's like several deadlines all deadlines are all year long. So I don't really think that that'd be an issue for me, like suddenly having a lot of work, because like I have lab reports and things every week. And actually, I think they've changed the way last work next year, so I have 3 weekends, so I'd have to use my weekends.
Well, I would make sure that I know what I have to do in services well beforehand, so that I can start working on that way before it needs to be done. As well as I do mostly anthropology, where most of my assignments are continuous. I have to start 3 weeks in advance. So, yes, I would just make sure don't wait until the last minute.
Okay, that appears to be it for questions for these candidates. So if the candidates could take their seats.